If you think waking up multiple times a night is just part of getting old, you're not alone. But you might be wrong. For millions of seniors, poor sleep is accepted as a normal part of aging. But what if the things you believe about sleep, about naps, late nights, bathroom trips, or even bedtime tea, are actually working against your brain, your body, and your independence? Because here's the hard truth. Some of the most common sleep advice given to older adults is outdated, unscientific, or flat out wrong. And holding on to those myths could be the very reason why your memory's fading, why your energy's low, or why you feel emotionally and physically tired, no matter how early you go to bed. Today, we're breaking it all down. The 7 biggest sleep myths that seniors across Europe, America, and around the world still believe. And more importantly, the truth, backed by doctors, researchers, and real-life experiences, that could help you sleep deeper, feel stronger, and think clearer than you have in years. But first, if you believe in spreading elderly reflections, quotes, and life lessons from the elderly to protect our community with real, useful senior health information, go ahead and like this video, subscribe for more, and tell me. Where are you watching from? I'd love to know which part of the world these stories are reaching. Let's get started. Because some of these myths might surprise you. Myth number 1. Older people just need less sleep. This one gets repeated everywhere, by family, by friends, even by some well-meaning doctors. But the truth is, your sleep needs don't shrink just because your hair turns gray. According to the National Institute on Aging and Harvard Medical School, adults over 65 still need 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep every night, just like younger adults. What changes isn't the amount of sleep needed, it's how hard it becomes to get it. As we age, our circadian rhythms shift. We tend to get sleepy earlier, wake up earlier, and sleep more lightly. Add in medications, joint pain, or frequent bathroom trips, and that rest becomes fragmented. So instead of accepting less sleep as your new normal, the goal should be protecting the quality of those 7 to 8 hours. That means limiting screen time before bed, keeping your room dark and cool, avoiding caffeine after 2 p.m. and getting exposure to natural light in the morning. Because when you give your body the right environment, your brain remembers how to rest, no matter your age. Myth number 2. If you can't sleep, stay in bed and try harder. This one sounds harmless, maybe even logical. But it's one of the fastest ways to train your brain to associate your bed with stress instead of sleep. Have you ever tossed and turned, staring at the ceiling, watching the hours pass? That experience builds a mental link. Bed equals frustration. And once that link forms, falling asleep gets harder and harder. The real advice, based on cognitive behavioral therapy for insomnia, what sleep specialists call CBTI, is this. If you can't fall asleep after 20 minutes, get out of bed. Go sit in a quiet room. Read something calm. Don't turn on the TV. Don't scroll your phone. Wait until you feel truly drowsy, then return to bed. This simple practice retrains your brain to see the bed as a place for sleep, not for worry. And over time, it can reduce chronic insomnia more effectively than sleeping pills. This strategy changed everything for Robert, 72, a retired mechanic in Michigan. For years, he believed that staying in bed would eventually force his brain to give in. Instead, he created a cycle of dread. Bedtime meant failure. Once he learned this CBTI trick, his mind relaxed. Within a few weeks, he was falling asleep faster and staying asleep longer, without needing a single pill. Myth number 3. A glass of wine helps you sleep better. It's tempting, right? You feel drowsy after a drink. Maybe even fall asleep faster. But the truth is, alcohol may help you fall asleep, but it hurts the quality of your sleep. Especially after 60. Why? Because alcohol disrupts the second half of your sleep cycle, the part where deep, restorative rest happens. You might fall asleep quickly, but you're more likely to wake up in the middle of the night, toss and turn without realizing it, feel groggy and foggy in the morning. And over time, regular nightcaps can lead to poor memory, lower immune function, and even increase the risk of dementia, a fact confirmed by a study from the University of Oxford. which tracks sleep and alcohol habits in people over 65. Take Maria, 77, from Spain. She used to have a glass of red wine every night after dinner, thinking it helped her wind down. But her energy kept dipping. Her memory became patchy. Her doctor suggested cutting the nightly wine for 2 weeks. It wasn't easy. But within days, her sleep improved. Her mornings became clearer. And she told her daughter, "I didn't know how foggy I was until the fog lifted." Myth number 4. If I nap during the day, I won't sleep at night. This one is half true, but it depends on how you nap. Seniors who nap late in the day, or nap for too long, often do interfere with their nighttime sleep. But the right kind of nap? A short, intentional power nap earlier in the afternoon? That can be restorative and even protective for your brain. Research from the Mayo Clinic shows that 20-minute naps taken between 1 p.m. and 3 p.m. can improve mood, increase alertness, and enhance memory in older adults, without disturbing nighttime sleep. The key is not to nap too late or too long. That's when your circadian rhythm gets confused. Think of it like this. A nap should be like a gentle breath, just enough to refresh you, not so long that it makes you drowsy for hours. If you're nodding off after dinner or waking up groggy from 2-hour naps, that's not energy restoration, it's a sign your sleep habits need a reset. The rest of the myths are even more surprising, especially if you've been trusting them for decades. But the truth is, once you let go of bad sleep beliefs and replace them with elderly wisdom backed by real science, your body begins to heal. Your brain starts to remember. And your days feel lighter again. Now I'd love to hear from you. Which of these myths have you believed? Have you tried changing any of your sleep habits after 60? Leave a comment below and tell me what worked or what didn't. Someone else might read your story and find their own breakthrough. And if this content spoke to you, if you value honest senior health guidance, motivation, and quotes from real life lessons, please like this video and subscribe for more. Let's keep exploring the sleep myths that have quietly crept into our lives. Some of them sound comforting. Others have been repeated so often, we just accept them. But when you're over 60, especially if you're noticing changes in your memory, your energy, or your mood, it's time to question what you've always believed. Because your sleep isn't just rest. It's restoration. And sometimes, what we believe about sleep is the very thing keeping us from healing. Myth number 5. Waking up during the night is nothing to worry about. Now, this one might sound harmless. After all, everyone wakes up at some point, especially after a certain age. Whether it's for the bathroom, a glass of water, or no reason at all. But here's where this myth becomes dangerous, when you stop paying attention to why you're waking up. Frequent nighttime awakenings, more than once or twice a night, could be your brain's way of warning you. It might be sleep apnea, which causes you to stop breathing for short periods. Restless leg syndrome, which creates discomfort and urges to move. Blood sugar fluctuations, especially if you're diabetic or pre-diabetic. Medication side effects, disrupting your sleep cycle. For seniors, especially those over 70, these little interruptions can lead to serious consequences: higher fall risk from nighttime disorientation, lower immune strength, and even faster cognitive decline. Robert, 79, from Vancouver, thought waking up 5 times a night was just part of aging. It wasn't until he fell getting out of bed at 2 a.m. that his doctor ordered a sleep study. The result? Severe sleep apnea. Now he uses a CPAP machine, sleeps more soundly, and hasn't woken up in the middle of the night in months. "I didn't realize I hadn't slept well in years, until I finally did," but he said. The bottom line, don't ignore nighttime awakenings. Track them. Talk to your doctor. Because sometimes, your body is whispering before it screams. Myth number 6. Snoring is just annoying, not harmful. This one gets brushed off too easily. A spouse might complain, someone might nudge you awake, but as long as you're still breathing, what's the harm, right? Here's the truth. Snoring is often the first sign of a deeper problem. Especially loud, gasping, or irregular snoring. According to the American Academy of Sleep Medicine, nearly half of seniors who snore have undiagnosed sleep apnea. That's a condition where your breathing stops briefly, over and over, while you sleep. And it's not just annoying, it's dangerous. Untreated sleep apnea increases your risk of high blood pressure, heart disease, stroke, type 2 diabetes, depression, memory loss and dementia. What's more, many seniors with sleep apnea never feel fully rested, no matter how long they sleep. Their brains never enter the deep sleep stages that clean out toxins and repair memory systems. Just ask Linda, 71, in Texas. She snored for years. Thought nothing of it. Her husband wore earplugs. Then one day, she nodded off behind the wheel at a red light. A sleep study revealed she was waking up over 30 times per hour, without realizing it. Now, with treatment, she says she's regained her energy, her sharpness, and even her patience. I didn't just stop snoring, she laughed. I started living again. So if someone's mentioned you're snoring, or if you wake up with a dry mouth, headaches, or fatigue, it's time to pay attention. Your body might be trying to save your life. Myth number 7. Taking sleeping pills is the best solution for insomnia. This might be the most dangerous myth of them all. And it's especially common among seniors who feel desperate for rest. The truth? Sleeping pills might help you fall asleep faster, but they do not give you the same quality of sleep. And worse, they come with real risks for people over 60. Increased fall risk due to dizziness or disorientation. Memory problems, especially the next morning. Dependency, where your brain forgets how to sleep without medication. Mood changes, including depression or irritability. A study published in the British Medical Journal found that seniors who use sleep aids like benzodiazepines have a significantly higher risk of cognitive decline, hip fractures, and even early death. Now, that doesn't mean all sleep aids are evil. But they must be used with extreme caution, and never as the first option. Instead, sleep specialists recommend behavioral approaches first. Establishing a consistent bedtime and wake-up time. Cutting out caffeine, alcohol, and screens at night. Creating a cool, dark, quiet environment. Using guided breathing or relaxation before bed. Sharon, 76, from Ireland, had been on sleeping pills for 8 years. But she still felt tired every morning. After her doctor slowly weaned her off and introduced natural methods, guided sleep stories, magnesium supplements, and gentle bedtime routines, she began sleeping more deeply than she had in years. I don't just sleep now, I rest. And that's what every senior deserves, real rest. Not just sedation. So now that we've uncovered these myths, what do we do with this truth? We stop settling. We stop assuming that poor sleep is just part of growing older. We stop masking symptoms with habits or pills that only patch the surface. Instead, we listen. We pay attention. We ask better questions. And most importantly, we give our body and mind the respect they've earned. Because after 60, your health depends less on how much time you spend sleeping, and more on how wisely you protect that sleep. Now I'd love to hear from you. Have you fallen for any of these sleep myths in the past? Have you noticed how your sleep has changed after 65? Drop your story in the comments. Your experience could be the exact reflection someone else needs to finally feel understood. And if this video helped you see sleep in a new light, if it reminded you how powerful real, informed rest can be, please like, subscribe, and help spread more elderly wisdom and life lessons to others just like you. Let's take a moment to be honest with ourselves, with our routines, with the stories we've been told about what it means to sleep after 60. Because here's what the science, and even more importantly, the lived experiences of seniors around the world continue to reveal. Sleep is not a passive thing. It's a skill. A practice. A reflection of how well we care for our mind, body, and emotions. And far too often, we treat it like something we either get or we don't. But when we stop believing the myths and start listening to what the body is truly asking for, everything starts to shift. Take Gerald, 82, a retired firefighter from Wisconsin. For years, he believed that waking up at 4 a.m. was just what happens when you're old. He'd go to bed at 8:30, wake up too early, and start his day in the dark, tired, stiff, disconnected. But one evening, his granddaughter, just out of nursing school, asked him a simple question. "Grandpa, what if you're not waking up early because you're old, but because your rhythm's off?" That sentence changed everything. Gerald adjusted his bedtime slowly. Started dimming the lights at 9. Gave himself a wind-down window. And most importantly, he stopped trying to force sleep, he let it come. Within weeks, he wasn't just sleeping longer. He was sleeping deeper. His stiffness eased. His memory sharpened. He even started painting again, something he hadn't done in over a decade. He didn't need sleeping pills. He didn't need to accept fatigue as a fact of life. He just needed to stop following the wrong map. And that's the heart of this message. Most seniors don't have a sleep problem, they have a sleep misinformation problem. We've believed that it's normal to nap all day and toss all night. That snoring is harmless. That sleeping less is a badge of aging. That pills are the only path to peace. That waking up at 2 a.m. means the night is over. But now we know better. Because elderly wisdom, backed by science and life lessons, tells us something else entirely. That short, smart naps can restore, not ruin, our rest. That snoring is a warning, not background noise. That your sleep needs don't vanish, they just need protection. That real rest doesn't come in a bottle, it comes from rhythm. And that quality sleep is not a luxury. It's a lifeline. Let's talk now about what you can do, starting tonight. Not a list. Not a plan. But a shift. Shift your environment. Make your bedroom a place of safety and rest. No clutter. No harsh light. No noisy clocks or glaring TVs, shift your timing. Try to sleep and wake around the same time every day, even weekends. Your brain craves rhythm like it craves oxygen. Shift your approach. Stop chasing sleep. Invite it. Ease into it. Use breathwork, prayer, soft music, or stillness, not scrolling and stimulation. Shift your expectations. Some nights will be harder. That's okay. But if you treat sleep as sacred, your body will begin to trust you again. And in that trust, it will rest. Because the brain doesn't need tricks. It needs consistency. And the soul doesn't need pills. It needs peace. Barbara, 79, from London, once told her son, "I used to think my mind was falling apart. But really, I just hadn't had a full night's sleep in years." After learning the truth about sleep myths, she made one small change at a time. Cut caffeine after noon. Took short walks before sunset. Listened to sleep stories with her lamp off. Now she sleeps through the night. And more than that, she dreams again. Vivid, colorful dreams that leave her smiling when she wakes up. "I thought dreams were gone forever," she said. "Turns out, they were just waiting for me to rest." So what are your beliefs about sleep? Have they helped you? Or held you back? If you've seen yourself in any of these myths, if you've realized that you've been carrying misinformation, let this be your turning point. It's not too late. It's never too late. To sleep better. To feel more alive during the day. To sharpen your memory, steady your mood, and regain the lightness in your step. You just need to believe something new. That good sleep is still possible. And that you deserve it. If this message found you at the right time, if you've learned something valuable or felt something personal, please take a moment to like this video. Subscribe for more real reflections on senior health, and share in the comments. What sleep myth did you once believe? And what's changed for you now? Your voice could be the exact encouragement someone else needs to finally sleep in peace. Thank you for spending this time investing in your rest, your rhythm, and your well-being. And remember, you're not too old to sleep well. You're just getting old enough to know what truly matters.